Something I can agree with Greta on. You're right, Greta. This is way wrong. 16-year-old Greta Thunberg and her eco-radical, politically motivated Marxist handlers have come to America and Canada to lecture and shame the people of other countries on how bad we are, how wide our carbon footprints have gotten, and how virtuous and noble she and her little band of climate cult apologists are. And as concerned as Thunberg's little group says they are about the climate and how we must do something or the damage humans inflict on the planet will be irreversible, you never hear Greta criticize the world's largest polluter, China. You also never hear her condemn the world's largest oil producers, OPEC. Why doesn't she set out on a carbon-free, voyage to Saudi Arabia, Russia, Venezuela, China, Iran, or India to preach? Why is it that she and her handlers feel they need to infect America and Canada with their cultish, fear-mongering nonsense about how the politicians must do something or we're all doomed? Could it be that it's not really about fixing the climate for these people? Maybe it's about making money and pushing an agenda for the social engineers who want to push their Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030 global control initiative. This is not about climate change, it's about cultural control. Maybe they should rename their movement and call it climate control. And Greta's team, fueled by sly social engineers and slick psychological operators, have been given the script that has attracted many willing lemmings who are obviously more than ready to turn their minds off to follow their new 16-year-old leader. A leader who freely admits that she's got some serious mental issues.
So when I was 11, I became ill. I fell into depression. I stopped talking and I stopped eating. In 2 months, I lost about 10 kilos of weight. Later on, I was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, OCD, and selective mutism.
To which I would say, behold your leader. And check out this little taste of racism against white people from the recent event in Alberta.
Can we get white folks to walk around to the back, please? White people to the back, please. This is the indigenous flag. We need to make room for it, okay? Just walk around if you can. Come to the front if you're a BIPOC person.
You hear that, white people? Get to the back of the bus where you belong. Here's what happens when Greta and her entourage are confronted off script about the political nature of her movement.
Climate change is politics, is it not?
Science.
And so is science going to solve it? Would you like a technical solution to climate change, or would you like politicians to solve it?
I'd really appreciate it if you stop talking to us right now. We have a meeting, and this is
So you're engaging in political discourse in a foreign country as a foreigner.
Thank
you very much. Will you be?
This is also slightly harassing, and I do have police contacts if needs be. So.
By the way, this guy eating the banana, that's Greta's dad. What do you think about a dad who pushes his daughter out into the limelight? A daughter who admittedly struggles with serious bouts of depression to the point where she doesn't speak and doesn't eat. You heard her on stage. At one point, she lost 10 kilos.
I fell into depression. I stopped talking and I stopped eating. In 2 months, I lost about 10 kilos of weight.
That's 22 pounds, guys. 22 pounds in 2 months. If a 200-pound man lost 22 pounds, that's significant. What does Greta weigh? 90 pounds? That's serious and life-threatening. So what do you think about a dad who uses his mentally and physically frail little girl who has Asperger's syndrome, OCD, and selective mutism, whatever that is, to start a political revolution based on a mountain of misleading information, fear-mongering, and outright lies? Here's a question she and her crew were asked by Rebel Media in Calgary.
Can I ask? I'm curious, because Calgary's an oil city. Why don't you guys go to China or Saudi Arabia? Protest them.
Because right now I'm here and I stopped flying. So to go there, that would have to. But I went here because I received an invitation to go here.
The same reporter also asked her dad about Greta's mental state and the appropriateness of putting her in the spotlight with those kinds of disorders.
Do you think that it's appropriate to have a child who talked about mental illness and be exploiting it in such a way?
I think we can
Taking her around the country, sort of, whoever gives you a Tesla, do you think that that's appropriate when you've talked about Greta's mental illness?
I don't have a mental illness.
So you don't have severe autism? That's sort of
not
was the...
illness.
So you think that it's completely acceptable to be bringing a 16-year-old across the country?
I brought him, actually.
Yeah.
If you want to see the rest of this interview, I'll drop a link in the description. The bottom line is that climate change fear-mongering cultists have an agenda. They want you to buy into their doomsday rhetoric, and they want the masses to respond with irrational fear. Fear of an end-of-the-world event which is not likely to happen. Make no mistake, these climate summits and protests are all about controlling the masses as the social engineers pave the way for their Agenda 2030 smart city plans. Please like and share this video everywhere on social media. It's the only way I can fight against YouTube's censorship and suppression algorithms. And leave your thoughts about this for the world and the Google Thought Police in the comments section below. And I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video.